Our next program is a program for comparing two numbers. That means you will take two numbers from the user as an input. Then you will have to compare the two numbers. If number 1 is greater than number 2, then the message should be number 1 is greater. If number 2 is greater than number 1, then your output should be number 2 is greater. And if both are equal, then the output should show that both numbers are equal. So let's see how it's done. So for this program, let's open the notepad. You have to compare two numbers. So let us first write import java.util.scanner. This is in order to take input from the user. Make sure the S is capital and put a semicolon. Now declare a class. Let's say it is compare. The C is capital. Declare the main method public static void main. Now write string args. This is for taking arguments from the user on the command prompt. Now let us declare the scanner object. So let's say the scanner object is sc. So system.in. Make sure the S is capital for scanner and system. Put a semicolon. Now declare the number 1 and number 2. The data type I am keeping here is int. You can take any data type like double or float. Now let us input the number 1 from the user by typing enter your first number. So this will be the line for taking your first number from the user. So now let us input. So number 1 is equals to sc.next int. Since the data type is int, you will have to use next int. If it was float, you would have written next float. Same I'll copy paste for the number 2. But make sure you make the required changes. So it will be number 2. Here also number 2. So both numbers we have taken from the user. Now you'll have to compare. So let us use an if and else statement. So if else statement is, if you write some if statement and if it is true, then that part of the block will be executed. And if you write an else statement, then that part of the block will be executed if the if part is not true. So if in circular brackets you have to write the condition number 1 greater than number 2. So if your number 1 is greater than number 2, then the output should be, you will have to show the output that number 1 is greater. So let us write that. The else statement will only be executed if the if statement is not true. If the if statement stands false, then the execution will begin from the else statement. So let's write else if. So this is for your second condition. So else if number 2 is greater than number 1. So this is your second condition. If it is true, then your output message should be number 2 is greater. If, else if, you can use it for multiple times. If there are many conditions, you can use else if. So the last condition is that both numbers will be equal. If number 1 is not greater than number 2 or number 2 is not greater than number 1, then that means both numbers are equal. So you don't have to write else number 1 is number 2. It is understood that if the if statement is not true, else if statement is not true, then the else statement will be both are equal. So now let's save it. Make sure the file name is same as the class name. So compare.java. You have to use .java extension. So it is saved on the desktop. Open your command prompt. So now to execute, you have to check the directory. So it is not on desktop. So let us write cd desktop. Now let's compile by writing java c what was your file name? Compare. So compare.java. So the file is executed without any error. So let's run the file. So java compare.java, and here it is executed. So enter number 1, 23 and 45. Since my second number is greater, the output is correct. Number 2 is greater. Let's check it one more time. So now I'll enter the number 45 and 45. So both are equal. So your output is correct. So your code is correct.